Hi guys, well Intel 12th gen processors are now here, and if you're considering a move over to Intel for the very latest platform, then you're going to need a Z690 board. So today we are going to be checking out what MSI has to offer in this Z690 Carbon Wi-Fi. Now, as with other generations of the Carbon, or what was previously called the Gaming Pro Carbon, this is a mid-range board which should offer a good blend, a good mixture of features. On offer from Carbon is a strong 18-phase digital VRM design, support for DDR5 up to 128 gig and 16,666 megahertz. And we also get a whopping 5 PCI Express driven M.2s. Now this board sits alongside other models which are in the mid to upper price range for the Z690, and so you guys can pick this up for around $400 in the US, $400 in the UK, and then if you're in Australia it is $699. So this is not a cheap mid-range board by any means, and for that price we kind of expect, plenty of good features and also performance to boot. So is this worth popping on that shortlist? Let's find out. Before we begin, today's video is brought to you by Corsair and the K70 Rgb TKL Champion Series. This new mechanical gaming keyboard arrives in the 10 keyless form factor and boasts per-key RGB backlighting as well as a durable aluminium frame. It also utilizes a tournament switch which allows the user to disable accidental macro activations and switch to static backlighting. K70 Rgb TKL uses Corsair's Axon hyperprocessing technology, which enhances the speed of key inputs and delivers 8000 hyperpolling. To get yours, please check out the link in the description. Okay, well first of all let's do a quick unboxing on our Carbon Wi-Fi. This is the packaging that it arrives in. Over on the back we've got those significant features, the usual sort of thing, a rundown of all those things that you get with this. First thing inside is that we have the Wi-Fi module, which you can see is quite substantial in size, but that means it can go on your desk. And then we have a bunch of documentation, stickers, storage labels, a recent competition that you can enter there, quick installation guide, registering, and there's another one there for registering as well. We've got a product flyer there for more products that MSI do. Got the user guide, which you might need to check out if you come into any problems or you want to know what certain configurations are. And we've got the case badge. There are 2 SATA cables. We have 3 RGB cables, USB drive with the drivers and the software. That's a really nice little feature. Usually you get the CD, so they're moving away from that, which is great. Got a brush, screwdriver kit for the SATA and other little things that you need to do. We've got these screws as well, and a special mechanism for the M.2 to lock it, and yeah, some screws for the M.2 as well. Okay, so here we have Carbon. Now compared to last season's Z590, which was called the Gaming Carbon, our Z690 is actually quite similar in terms of the aesthetics. In general, we've got a black design for the PCB, the slots and the heat sinks, so this is definitely a neutral theme. And of course, MSI has equipped Carbon to have the integrated Rgb lighting, which is situated on that Z690 heatsink and the back panel cover. All of this lighting can be controlled using MSI's Mystic Light software. There are also 4 headers for the lighting which have support for RGB, ARGB and Corsair's RGB tech as well. Carbon is the standard size for a board and it conforms to the ATX form factor, meaning that it's going to fit into most cases. Being a Z690 board, we're using the new Intel LGA 1700 socket, which is designed primarily there for the 12th gen processors, so it is not possible to use previous gen CPUs on this board. Now some coolers which are designed for the older Intel sockets may or may not work with this board. You're going to need to double check that A, the alignment is correct, and B, if it's up to the job. Now in terms of the power delivery, we have an 18+1+1 phase design with digital PWM and 75 amp power stages. Covering the VRMs, we've got 2 significant heat sinks which are joined with a copper heat pipe, and in our web review we found the thermal results to be fairly decent when it came to full system load, and of the bunch of boards that we've tested, Carbon landed right in the middle of the pack. Behind the top heatsink we've got the CPU power, which is an 8+8 pin socket, something which is common on most Z690s. Now in terms of the headers, there are a total of 8 spread across the top, the side, the bottom and center. All of them are 4 pin, and one at the top there is designated for water pumps. And as mentioned previously, we got 4 additional headers for RGB lighting. Moving to the memory, while MSI do have some Z690s which are specifically for DDR4, the vast majority are DDR5 only, and Carbon is one of those. So we have the dual channel DDR5 support up to 128 gig and up to 6666 megahertz. MSI use their DDR5 boost, which isolates that memory to the CPU for better signal. And in this area we also get the LED debug panel and some quick reference LEDs for boot, VGA, memory and CPU, helping you to troubleshoot if you do run into any of those problems. And right next to that DDR5 section we got that USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, and we also get a USB 3.2 Gen 2 header. That of course gives you that Type-C connectivity on your case. Moving on to the storage, we have 6 SATA 3 6G ports for any SATA based devices, and then we have a whopping 5 M.2s. 4 of those are Gen 4, while just 1 is Gen 3. All of those M.2s feature a corresponding heatsink. If we take a look at the expansion area, we have the 2 PCI Express 5 X16s and a single PCI Express 3 X16. Top slot there is wide for the full 16 lanes, the second is wide for 8, and then the bottom is 4. And so it is best to use that top slot if you're using a single card. Oddly enough though, the board is only compatible with AMD Crossfire. NVIDIA SLI does not appear to be supported. The 2 upper slots there have the steel armor treatment and those extra anchor points. To the immediate left of the PCI Express we have the audio solution, which MSI call Audio Boost 5. This is essentially based around the Realtek ALC 4080 codec. As part of that package we get Chemicon audio caps, dedicated audio amp, and all those components there are isolated. And finally we arrive there at the rear I/O panel for all of the connectivity, and that rear I/O shield is already pre-attached. And so in this area we get the flash BIOS button, 4 USB 2 ports, HDMI 2.1 and DisplayPort 1.4, 5 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, those are in the red, 2.5 gig Ethernet, a USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, which is Type-C, antennas for the Wi-Fi 6E and the Bluetooth 5.2, and then last of all those audio jacks with the optical out. And so there is a good selection of ports there, but it is disappointing there to see USB 2 making an appearance and in such volume. But as it stands, that back panel offers good balance for most users. Alright, well that is the Z690 Carbon Wi-Fi. Gone are the days when the price of this board, 400 US, 400 UK, 700 Aussie, would be considered as high end. This price point now occupies what we would kind of term as mid-range, and as such, against the competition, Carbon Wi-Fi does an excellent job. It's going to provide a nice foundation there for 12th gen. Now not all mid-range boards offer what this board offers. We got the twin PCI Express 5 slots there, DDR5 frequencies which almost hit 7,000, 5 M.2 slots, and of course Wi-Fi 6E. So this board offers, and it kind of strikes as a good option really for future-proofing a build. It also looks great. It's going to combine with other components, pair them up very well. Now you can check out the performance in our web review, but we managed to push the 12900K to a 5.2 overclock. Granted, the temps there on some of the cores did hit 100, but that is down to the CPU voltage hitting 1.39. And that just shows you what this board has to offer in terms of the overclocking potential. The only real disappointment with Carbon Wi-Fi is the fact that MSI has included a plethora of USB 2 ports on the back panel there. We certainly shouldn't be seeing this many on a Z690 board. It would have been nice to occupy those with 3.2. But apart from that, we can definitely recommend this board if you're planning a move over to Intel's 12th gen. If you guys are wanting to see the benchmark results with some other performance related info for this particular board, please check out the web review. The link for that is going to be on the screen and in the description very soon. Let me know what you guys think as well of this board here in the comment section. Are you considering buying this board, or are you looking at a different Z690? Let me know in the comments. Thanks very much for your continued support, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.